Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Turnipole. And as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. And of course, Jackpot Joey. Do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome. I'm up to 1,879 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. Please tell your friends, tell your neighbors to subscribe to Sports with Strawberry Ice. So if you're watching Facebook or Instagram or Twitter and you have yet to subscribe to my channel, why not? Please do so. Please go to the YouTube channel, Sports with Strawberry Ice. Hit the subscription button, hit the bell for notification, and every time I go live, you'll be notified. Also, exclusively in the YouTube chat crew, we're doing super chats. So if you got a question that you're dying to ask Ryan about something that Ace and Zim have done in the background, or how they got Cincinnati started, or his years working at the NFL Network, or anything like that, or you got some really cool stuff you want to ask me, give me a super chat. I'd greatly appreciate it. Watch out. I almost knocked down my Jackpot Joey beer stand. See, I start moving around and getting all excited. So, by the way, have you tried that yet? It's delicious. Go check it out there. You get it at Jungle Gyms. I know Steve's BP heads. I think Delhi Liquor here has it. Make sure you go check it out. And if your store by you doesn't have it, tell them, go, hey, we need some Jackpot Joey beer in here. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave, and the Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. What's up to everybody in the chat crew? Stranger, my boy Augie's in there. Crip, Kenny, you're in there. Hoss, what is up? All right, guys. So I was finally able to make it down to the bridge today, and I had to check out a couple things. I did see T. Higgins. I did see him. He was in a helmet, and he had not shoulder pads, but he was just doing walkthroughs. He was very limited. I didn't know he was out there until like the end of practice. They were literally snapping the ball and walking through play. So that's all he did. But at least it's on the right trajectory to maybe be able to play this week. I don't know, but like Zach Taylor said at his press conference, he has passed everything so far. So we'll have to see what happens. Interesting thing, Trent Taylor was on the rehab field. I asked him, I yelled to him from the bridge. I said, are you good? He gave me the thumbs up. So maybe he just needed a veteran day off. I don't know. He looked fine. He was running around looking good. Cal Adamitis. I yelled to him. I said, your time to shine, brother. You got to step up. He gave me the thumbs up and smiled. And I'll tell you what. They lined up special teams, defense, everything. Long snapped it. Evan McPherson, I'm not kidding. If the bushes weren't there, the ball would have hit the street. So Evan crushed the ball. Cal snapped it fine. Now, again, this is practice, but he looks good. But shout out to my boy Clark Harris, the Lord of Thunder and Long Snaps. I miss you. It wasn't the same without you there, but it looks like Cal should be fine. We'll see what happens. Anyway, enough of me rambling on. Let's get to the guy, the reason you guys are all here, and that's for Ryan Yance. Ryan, what's going on, brother?
What's up? I don't know if that's the reason why everyone's here. I think I think they're all here for you, but I'm hoping to bring whatever I can to the experience.
Everybody's coming to find it. They want to find the inside story of Cincinnati and some just really, back page stories of Ace and Zim, when they're fighting with each other and arguing. And no, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I'm just being silly. What's up, man? How you been doing?
Good, man. Good, man. I really appreciate you having me back. We had a lot of fun last time.
Exactly. Now, I didn't realize this because we tried to do our Jackpot Joey tailgate in a different area, away from Longworth and everybody else, and it was okay. But I think we'll be back at Longworth, and I wish we were at Longworth because you guys are there. Ace and Zim was there. A couple of other people were there, and a lot of people were at Bengal Jim's tailgate, so I kind of missed a lot of my friends. Unfortunately, I missed seeing you, but how was your experience? You're telling me off air here, first time you really got to tailgate, first time you really got to experience a Bengals game or a game in the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to a few games, but this is the first chance that we ever got to hit up the tailgate, and man, it was intense. I was a little overwhelmed at times trying to find everything and see where everything was located, but Samantha and I got around and we found everything, or not everything, but we found enough to to kind of make the experience worth it before we like booked it back into the stadium.
Now, one thing. Now, have you tailgated anywhere else? Or this is the first time you ever tailgated?
I tailgated at the Coliseum for an SC game once, but not a big tailgate experience. And I'm going to tell you that this is a way bigger deal than what we're doing at the Coliseum.
That's kind of my point, because I remember last year, I think it was a story out of ESPN said that Cincinnati was one of the worst tailgating places in the NFL. I call bull bleep on that, dude, because I mean, I've been to other places, and I'm not saying ours is any better than anybody else's, but we're damn sure not one of the worst ones. We got people everywhere around that entire stadium, and now including the banks, the stuff they have going on that the Bengals have down there going on with the banks. I mean, it's basically from where GABP is past the stadium to Longworth and down there. Yeah. There's people freaking everywhere, Ryan.
I know. We walked through Lot D, and Lot D was crazy. I mean, even just to get down by the water where Jim had his thing going. But yeah, it was wild. It was intense. Got to see Ken Anderson give a pregame speech that I wish he would have given to the team. Maybe they've been a little more fired up. But because the fans were in a frenzy, man. We were ready.
Oh, dude, I was so fired up for that game. And I kind of made this reference on my Monday show. I said, first of all, have you ever seen the movie Major League 2? Have you ever seen that movie?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it kind of, us fans are like, oh, we're gonna go in there, we're gonna kick the Squealers' ass, we're going back to the Super Bowl, yada yada yada, and then we went, and then everyone walks out like, oh, we're terrible, we're horrible. I'm like, yeah, it's by 3 points. I'm like, relax, it's not that big of a deal. But it completely reminded me of that movie and how quickly things change.
I mean, I understand. I can understand both sides and both arguments. For me, it felt like five different. I felt like five losses in the loss column in one day. Like,
you're going up and down, up and down.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay, they came out. I mean, first of all, loss to the Steelers is 2 games in the standings, but it feels like 3.
Right.
And then you have like the the blocked extra point to think like you were an extra point's a gimme, like this is over.
Especially when you get shooter and kicker.
Yep, that gets snatched away, and then you go to a potential game-winning field goal that was even more of a gimme in overtime, and to miss that due to snapping issues again. And I mean, Mitch was in such a bad place, man. Like, you can't help but feel horrible for the guy. Like, he hasn't long snapped in a game since college, and
he was the backup then too. He's a backup in college, so he's never was the man as the long snapper.
I'll never understand why your backup center isn't groomed to be a long snapper, a guy who shotgun snaps for a living. I understand that the trajectory is different, but the arm movement is very similar.
Yeah, the arm movement is very similar. The trajectory is definitely not. I don't know. I mean, I've never long snapped in my entire life, so I have no idea. I just know there's a difference between a shotgun snap and a long snapper snap. And I'll tell you this, I saw Clark Harris. What he does is unbelievable. We went to the Sam Hubbard Foaling tournament this summer, which if you don't know what foaling is, where you take a football, you throw it at bowling pins and you knock it down. Well, right. Clark snapping it and just nailing it. I'm like, that's ridiculous, dude. He goes, that's no big deal. I'm like, no, seriously, that's good. Not everybody can do that. I mean, and that's what goes to show is how important everybody on a football team is. Absolutely. Your long snapper to Joe Burrow, to your long snapper, to the last guy on the practice squad. Everybody is important, and everybody plays a role. And when that piece is gone, the next guy's got to step up. And Wilcox did his best, but unfortunately, his best wasn't good enough. But I'm going to be a little critical about my boy. If Joe Burrow plays like jackpot and not like he did Sunday, we beat them by 2 or 3 scores.
Yeah, he was more like Crockpot Joey on Sunday.
Right, exactly.
I don't know if Samantha and I had a great conversation with a woman downtown on Monday, and an older woman. She said, you know what? It takes 6 weeks for anesthesia to completely get out of your system. He may still be feeling that. I mean, she was just trying to co-sign every excuse, and we were all about it. We were all for it. So he just definitely didn't look right. I tweeted earlier that, it felt like he was hitting the wrong button playing Madden. Like, oh, I didn't mean to throw to that receiver. Again, the triangle. But yeah, it felt like that. He really wasn't seeing the field. And you've seen some of the tweets from the Bengals community out there on Twitter, posting videos of Hayden Hurst running up the seam wide open. Mm-hmm. They really didn't attack the middle of the field the way they should have once they realized Pittsburgh was in a cover 2 shell. So I don't know who that falls on, whether that was Joe just not seeing it, whether he was seeing ghosts. The first play of the game, he gets dumped on his butt, and we're all going, oh, wow, here we go. Like,
that looked familiar, unfortunately.
Yep. And then the next play, there were so many weird things happening in that game that made us call back to, and maybe this is a good thing. We kind of called back to moments of 2021. It was like, God, there were all the interceptions. Like, what are we playing the Bears again? What's happening out here? And then with the back and forth, the missed kicks and such, we were like, oh, this is the Green Bay game all over again. Both games that they lost. So, I mean, if they lose this game, they're still on pace, you could say, to go to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I'll just go with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long season, and everybody keeps bringing up the Green Bay game, which it's a lot like that, similar with all the field goal misses. But I always roll back to the very first game last year against Minnesota. I know Minnesota's defense and the Steelers' defense are, Steelers are way better defense than Minnesota was last year. But it's kind of the same. Our offense kind of looked the same way. We did not play very good, but we were still had a chance to win it, and we did win in overtime with a shooter, Monty McPherson kick, which is exactly what we had. Or it would have been an extra point, or an overtime, whatever. It was there. It was laid out the exact, except for all the turnovers and everything. So, to me, it's Joe played worse than he did the first game last year. I would say that he definitely played a lot worse than he did the first game last year. But the offense in general and the team in general looked worse. The defense played better. If that defense didn't play like that, Ryan, there is no freaking way we would have been in that game at all. That defense kept them in there. And that's what's kind of irritating me is everybody keeps talking about the Squealers defense, which don't get me wrong. They played an excellent game. They fooled Joe. They intercepted him. They played a really good game. But the Bengals defense, they kept them in the game. I mean, they scored, 20, was it 24-20? I think it was, or 23-20? Yeah. So they scored 23 points. I mean, and they had the ball a lot, especially in the first half. Because we weren't doing anything, and we 3 interceptions in the first half. So our defense, I want to give credit to our defense. I think we have a shot at having a top 10 defense this year.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of the playoffs. It reminds me of the Super Bowl where the defense kept them in games and even, got them out in front in some. It felt a lot like that. And then the offense just needed to make the plays at the end, which the offense did. Just these special teams, for reasons we've talked about, just were unable to hold up their end of the bargain. So I think the defense looks great. I ran into Eli Apple the morning after the game at breakfast, and I told him, I was like, man, you look great out there. Like, there's no reason for you to hang your head. And, he was just very thankful and nice because he's a super nice guy. But I thought Eli played great. I saw that Cheeto was the highest graded corner by PFF, which is amazing. I saw Dax flying around out there and Von Bell getting some pressure. So we'll see. I haven't been able to watch too much of the tape to really concentrate on Jesse, but I plan to. Yeah.
Now, Eli Apple, one thing, I'm glad you brought that up because, all summer people are like, oh, we're going to bring Eli Apple back. Oh, I don't know how that is. I was like, dude, I think Eli Apple is very, very comfortable where he's at in Lou Anarumo's system and comfortable in Cincinnati and comfortable in stripes. And I think he's making strides and getting even better. I mean, he was a first-round pick. So
absolutely.
To steal from Hayden Hurst, he was the first-round pick for a reason. So there's talent there. Now, maybe he was just in the wrong schemes with the Giants and New Orleans, and he started to find his way. But I was very happy that you didn't hear his name at all. They didn't call him for penalties for nothing. I heard Cheeto's name more than anything. It seemed like they were going after Cheeto more than they were going after Eli, which I thought was kind of surprising.
Yeah, they took a deep shot on Eli once, and I can't remember if he broke it up or it was just overthrown. But either way, it's an incomplete for the offense. I think a lot of the talk was from Steeler fans or the media or whoever wanted to promote that narrative was that George Pickens was going to come in and play bully ball, and it was going to be Georgia all over again. And 1 catch for 3 yards. He didn't do anything. We didn't see any of those, pancake blocks that everyone wanted to make a big deal on social media. Like, okay.
Right, exactly.
But I didn't see any of that. I saw 1 catch for 3 yards. I saw maybe 2 or 3 targets. And,
right. I mean, honestly, if we don't turn the ball over, the Steelers, they might score 1 touchdown, because half the reason they got the scoring opportunities is because of the Bengals offense. They gave them the ball and great scoring opportunities.
Yep.
They are once we had them down at the other end of the field, like especially in the overtime. I think within like 30 seconds or something like that, when we missed, if we missed the extra point or maybe it was the touchdown that wasn't to Chase, that actually was. Anyway, we just turned the ball over on 4 downs, and it was 3 and out for the Squealers, and we got the ball right back. I mean, they did absolutely nothing on it.
Without a couple trick plays. I mean, think about the double reverse flea flicker that went for 40 yards to the tight end. And then the Bengals get a huge goal line stand, and the Steelers get bailed out by a terrible call. We were right there. A terrible pass interference.
Shocking,
call.
Right? Shocking.
It was. I mean, there were some really bad calls. Plus the non-grounding call in the end zone 10 feet in front of us that Hubbard should have had a sack on. I mean, it was terrible. I'm sure if you root for the other uniforms, you're going to complain about what was happening at the end, but I guarantee you it wasn't as bad as what we were watching in that end zone.
I already had a couple of Squealers fans message me on TikTok or whatever saying, "Oh, well, the ref's trying to give you the game." I'm like, are you serious? Did we watching the same game? Because I'll just tell you, Mika Fitzpatrick should have been thrown out of the game a couple of times for the headshots he was taking. I mean, he's blatantly doing it. And Zach Taylor was asked about that in his press conference. Should you say anything about that? He goes, well, I can only control what I can control, which he's right. If he says anything, they're not going to, maybe he said, hey, keep an eye out for that. But dude, it was ridiculous. I mean, especially the hit on T. Higgins. And what sucked even worse, it was on his dad's birthday. And, RIP Eric Higgins.
We predicted a pretty big game for T. Higgins.
I thought he was going to ball out, dude. And his first couple of catches, he looked like he was on fire. And that one where he got hit in the head, which I still don't see how in the hell the refs don't call that. Well, they don't have targeting in it's college, but unnecessary roughness or whatever. How do they not call that?
Yeah, I mean, there's still personal fouls for defenseless receivers and shots to the head, and those still, even if there's not the official targeting rule, they still call penalties for those things. So it's just you just chalk it up into when we play those games, the flags go in the other direction. I mean, Jamar Chase caught a pass in the end zone in front of a referee, and they didn't give him a touchdown. The Bengals come away with no points.
Right in front of him. He was looking right down the line.
Like he could have high-fived him after he caught it. They were so close.
Now, full disclosure, the end zone I sit in, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell because his back was to us. That's the end zone I sit in. So I couldn't tell. So I'm like, all right. And we didn't get a replay up fast enough because they went to the line and hiked it real quick, which Zach is, hindsight said he probably should have slowed down a little bit there. And that's another thing too, I love Zach Taylor. I'm not trying to be critical about it, but he's even said himself, he's made a couple mistakes on there. I mean, if he throws a flag there and it's a touchdown, that's game. That's ball game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just, it was just a weird game all the way around. I'll steal something from Jake Lisco. A weird game all the way around for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took a lot of deep breaths Sunday night. 3 conies and a 4-way, and it was
ready
to move on.
I got to ask, was it Skyline or Gold Star?
Skyline.
Yeah, baby. There you go. I knew I liked you for a reason. All right, let's get to some of the questions here. John Hinkle says, what's your prediction on week 2? I'll let you go first. What do you got? Got a prediction? I don't have to score prediction, but you think it'd be close? We're going to blow them out. What do you think?
Every cynical bone in my body is trying to forget about the Mike White game last year and just base it on solely this is a completely different matchup. and I want to say that this is, you know, a double-digit Bengals win. They're going to come out and they're going to be an angry offense. I think Lyle Collins is going to have something to prove back in Dallas. So my prediction would be that it's a 11 to 13 point win, somewhere in that range.
I'm actually right around there. I think it's gonna be a close one because I think Dallas's offense is gonna be a lot like Pittsburgh's was because they have a backup quarterback, they have a very good running game, so and their defense is the edge guys. Micah Parsons is not say his name right. The number 11,
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was. Yeah, he was ridiculous last weekend versus Tampa Bay. So you definitely got to keep your head on a swivel with him. And so this will be another good test for the offensive line. So I think we're going to win. I mean, I'll talk crap and say I think we're going to blow them out. But honestly, I think we're going to win. I do think it's going to be a close ball game because I think the Bengals have won like 3 times in their entire history playing the Dallas Cowboys. Now, we don't play them very much in Dallas. So I think it was right here, 3 or 6. I can't remember. But I think we're going to get our newest win. It's going to be a W for the Bengals. And I know a lot of people were talking about Joe Burrow and him staring, off into the distance in the locker room or whatever. And this is all new stuff because none of the media was allowed to go into the locker room up until this year. It's the first year they've been able to do that. And they asked Joe today, were you just pissed off about the game? Were you focused? He goes, no, something I do every game. I just stare at What what were you trying to replay the game? What were you? Goes, yeah, probably something like that. Oh, his answer's always so nonchalant.
I really take his his sort of nonchalance, like you're talking about. It's just kind of the serial killer in him, like just unforgiving and
Or what's the you ever seen Office Space? I'm gonna burn this place down. That's kind of what
he has a little bit of that in him, doesn't he?
It kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, it's okay. I'll just think of myself. Oh, I'm gonna kill you guys in your sleep. But, it's fine. Anyway, all right. Let's see here. Let's get to the chat is blowing up here. Let me go. Let's see here. Let's go, Brian. See here. If they aren't sure, call it a TD and allow it to be automatically reviewed. I completely and totally agree with that, Brian. That's one thing that me and Cap brought up on Monday's show. I don't understand. That's kind of what the review is there for, that if the ref is not sure, he can throw it up, touchdown, or we're going to review it. If he says no, then it's got to be challenged because every scoring decision is reviewed anyway. So that is one thing. That's another thing on the ref. Why do you it was that close? You were that certain that it was not a touchdown? I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean the rub with something like that is you get into, well, it was called this on the field. Is there indisputable evidence to say otherwise? And then you're going back to, okay, if you don't call, is there indisputable evidence to say one or the other? We obviously know because we've seen the photographs that he was in easily. So
yeah. The ball crossed the plane and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so I hope I'm going to say your name right here. Tabor Myers. I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, but he said predictions of how many sacks can our defense get on Cooper Rush. Well, I'm looking for at least 2 or 3, maybe 4, because the left tackle is also out too. And when he went, I can't remember the left tackle who replaced him. I can't remember his name, but he was awful against the Buccaneers rush. So I'm looking for, I think the H boys can eat this weekend. What do you think there, Ryan?
Yeah. Before I get to that, I just want to reference Augie's comment on if the league reviews it anyway, if the ref missed it, only under 2 minutes will they buzz down and stop the play. They let apologize if you guys can hear the plane in the background. That's super loud.
That's all right. Usually my dog starts barking, so they're used to stuff on my show.
But to go back to the pass rush, I actually thought that this game against the Steelers was going to be a get good game for the pass rush, but I don't think they came away with 1 sack. They had a couple hits on Trubisky. He's obviously pretty mobile. Cooper Rush is not in that same league of mobility that Mitch Trubisky is. So he's going to be more of a sitting duck. Like you said, there's injuries at left tackle. They're pretty stout in the middle still. But yeah, I think the guys on the edge, I hope we get to see Joseph Osai get some quality rushes this week. Saw him in a few times this past week, but really looking forward to Trey getting on and Sam getting on the board.
Exactly. Now go back to Trey Henderson, dude. I thought Trey was this close to strip sacking. I keep calling him Trubisky. I call him Biscuit. But I was yelling. I was watching. I was like, ball. Oh, crap. I thought he got it out. When I was watching it live, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he got a good tomahawk in, didn't he?
Oh, dude,
but he chased him from the opposite end of the field. And
you want to talk about a psychopath? That's Trey Henderson. He is a psychopath when he gets, and I mean that from all love, Trey, because I know you're watching my show. All the Bengals watch my show. He's a freaking legit psychopath when he comes to practice and when it comes to the game. It's awesome.
Yeah, he got a couple holding calls in his favor, and one ripped off his helmet, and he was pretty pissed with the referee. Was hoping to get that call. It doesn't matter. Every week they're going to have to hold him to keep him away from the quarterback. It's just going to be a thing. He's just too good to block one-on-one.
I think he's getting 14 to 14 and a half sacks again this year. That was my prediction at the beginning of the year. We'll see. All right, my boy Josh here, who is the admin and creator of Who Dey Nation. And if you guys don't know this, Who Dey Nation was up to like 10,000 people in it, members. They got taken down. So if you're looking for the new Who Dey Nation, go check it out. I don't have a picture. Maybe Josh put a picture up for it, but go check it out. They're trying to get back up there. Anyway, he said, I think Joe Burrow might throw for 400. Could be shades of the Ravens and Steelers blowout last year. I could see that too. That's where I said it's gonna be close, and I that's for me to, because I don't feel comfortable after what I saw Sunday to say, oh, we're gonna go blow them out. But Ryan, we could. I mean, we could.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually pretty reserved, especially on a road game with a team that does have some talent, but that if you're reading anything into the line that Vegas has, for them to be 7.5 point favorites, and the way that people bet on Dallas, a lot of people just will throw money on Dallas just because their popularity. It sort of feels like a trap game, and they're begging people to bet on Dallas, thinking that they can cover 7.5, and it's going to be a blowout.
My bad here.
It feels like a huge trap.
All right, it's pronounced Tay-Bear. Okay, sorry, my bad. I'll try to pronounce it better. Yes, but yeah, that's the thing is, like, if you look at the line, as soon as Dax Prescott went out, I mean, their Bengals went from a dog to the leader. So I mean, it was that's where I'm with you. We could go there, but if we played better Sunday, I would feel more comfortable going, hell yeah, we're gonna go down and blow them out. But I don't know. That's just, but I do think it's our defense is going to get after it. I mean, you got, and the thing is, we brought up earlier in this broadcast is the Jets game last year. Those guys remember that game, so I don't think that they're gonna do the same mistake that they did last year against the Jets. So that's where I'm like, I think we got something for Dallas. I mean, that's the orange colored sunglasses coming out. But then the realist is like, it might be close. Either way, we're going to freaking win, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I felt good even with Dak as the quarterback that they could go in there and get a win. So I don't know why that would change now with the backup and why they wouldn't maybe have a better chance to win by an even bigger margin.
Exactly. Tabor here says, do you think Kevin Huber can hit the scoreboard this week? Yes, I think so. Like,
yeah, I mean, he hit a bomb on Sunday. Like,
he did.
He hit an absolute bomb that I didn't think he had in him. I don't think I've ever in my life seen Kevin Huber hit a ball that hard.
He crushed it.
Yeah, he crushed one. I don't know what it was. It looked like it went 70 yards. It was insane. It didn't, but it looked like it went 70 yards.
He's getting the rub from Drew Christian. He's getting his superpowers back. but shout out and congratulations to Kevin Huber. He is the all-time games played leader for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now he is going to And him and Clark Harris were neck and neck now. Unfortunately, that Clark is out. Clark can't catch him now. I don't think so. I think that debate is over. But I did tell him that I was out of the bridge. I said congratulations. I try not to talk to him too much because they are doing stuff. But
they love you.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Sometimes I might bug them. I don't know. All right, Robert here says, "Who Dey Strawberry and Ryan." And to all the fans out there watching, we beat ourselves last Sunday. I fully expect to see a much better performance this Sunday. Who Dey for life. Exactly, Robert. That's and the thing is, like, some of these Vegas fans are driving me nuts because like, oh, we got to fire Zach Taylor. Oh, this is terrible. I'm like, did you see the resolve of the team? Like, there were teams like, and Cap brought this up, and I forgot about this. It was one of opening day 2014, 2013. I don't remember what he said. Andy Dalton threw 4 interceptions, and we got shut out by the Ratbirds. Jackpot threw 6, and we damn near won the game. I mean, Ja'Marr Chase was an absolute freaking beast. He was out there for every single snap of the whole damn game.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's talk about psychopath. That's ridiculous. That's wanting to win. And the thing is, I love this. And I saw this, and I didn't pay attention to it till maybe James Rapine or some of the podcasts I listened to brought it up. I can't remember. But our starting, oh my goodness, why can't they? Not Logan Wilson, our other starting linebacker. Ray, what is our other starter? 57.
Jermaine Pratt.
Thank you, Jermaine Pratt. Why can't I ever think of his name? Jermaine Pratt ran out. This is in one of the TV timeouts. Ran out to Ja'Marr Chase and squirted water in his mouth, like, because he knew that dude was wore to blank out. He'd been out there, but he was out there helping his teammate out because he knew he was putting it all out there for the team. And to watch him do that performance was indicative of what the character and content of this team is.
Yeah, God. I mean, the one he almost came down within the end zone. What a catch that could have been.
That was the end zone I was in. That's sick.
We thought that was it. Like, when we're on the opposite end zone and obviously couldn't see his feet clear enough, thought for sure that was in. That was it. It was a wrap. And only for him to get the other one that ultimately counted. It was just a great performance by, one of the best, if not the best receivers in the league for sure.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, I was at that was the end zone that I was in, and I was going nuts. I was hugging my son and everything. Said, yeah, we got it. And it comes back like, oh crap. But one thing, another thing I thought was interesting is after they blocked the extra point, I think the Squealers are dumb enough thinking that they won the game, because they were running out on the field. They were two guys took their helmets off in the field of play, which I'm pretty sure is still a penalty. I thought unless they changed that I don't know of. Pretty sure you can't take your helmet off, and that's a penalty. But the Steelers could do it, and they got away with it. So, and that was the thing. I'm yelling. I'm going, dumbasses! It's tied up. Like, you didn't win. I'm like,
I know.
I mean, is that the feeling that you got, that they thought they won on that block extra point?
It was their Super Bowl. So yeah, it was literally their Super Bowl. So I think anything that they were going to get in this game, that they were. I think if they tied it, they were going to feel like they would put another ring on their finger. So
exactly, they're gonna be like Aaron Donald going, yeah. I'm like, won exactly. One game. Really? Be honest, that's the way some of these Steeler fans are acting and coming after me on different social media things, which I think it's funny. Like I said, I go on TikTok and I did some trash talking Saturday night. So I'm like, hey, we lost. I got it. It doesn't bother me. I understand. But I'm like, when they're like, oh no, we kicked your ass. Like, no, you literally didn't. Yeah, you sacked us. But the score, you beat us by 3 points. You did not. No point in this game did you guys kick our ass. There was
right.
You didn't dominate us. Ass kicking is us dropping 40 on you twice last year. That's domination. And beating you 3 times in a row. That's domination.
They played a great first half of football. No question. They took care of the ball and they were opportunistic on defense. But it is 2 halves. And in the second half, they were dominated and should have lost multiple times.
Exactly. Brian here says 0 preseason snaps, and that man played 100 offensive snaps and balled out. Let me read that again. 0 preseason, 0, none. Didn't play at all. No games, nothing.
Yeah.
And 100 offensive snaps. Yeah. Uno balled the bleep out, dude. It was, the thing is, during the game, I don't know if I didn't realize that he didn't come out. I didn't know that until afterwards. You know, you miss stuff during the game because you don't have the announcers telling you stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that till the next day. I'm like, holy crap. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
You got to shout out to the Gatorade team, the Water Boys, that like kept those electrolytes in him. I don't know how he wasn't cramping, because at times when the sun came out at the stadium, it was hot. It was
dude,
searing heat.
Yes.
And that's when Joe started cooking, was when the sun finally came out, because in that first half of, you know, rain and overcast, he was in his own fog. And he just wasn't seeing the field.
Now, as a fat guy, the rain and the clouds felt good to me when that sun came out. I'm like,
yeah, but I didn't have a poncho, jacket, whatever. I just let it all come down. It was great.
Yeah, well, it never really rained hard enough, I thought, for a poncho right there. It just felt good to me. But one thing, talking about when Joe started cooking, did you notice that? Did you hear the chant that the crowd started? It was let's go Joe, let's go Joe, let's go Joe. I don't know if you heard that or not.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying all, and I thought the whole stadium was saying it, or most of it was. Right after that, I think Joe turned a switch on, because that's when he made that long run for that first down and dropped the ball down and pointed, you know, first down, and we're all going freaking nuts.
Yeah.
To me, that sounded like that got him going.
He needs those types of things. That's his game. He needs those types of plays that he makes, and he feeds off of that. Early on, he just wasn't. Those weren't happening, and he wasn't getting those intermediate completions. Those 15 to 25 yard digs and skinny posts, and hitting those types of things to get him going and in a rhythm. And then he starts to really feel himself, and like the Shiesty, Joe Burr, all that stuff comes out, and you see the killer Joe,
the psycho.
The psycho,
psycho Joe.
But that run, you're absolutely right. That run like ignited the psycho in him, and then we kind of saw, oh, okay, this is the guy. This is the guy we've been talking about. This is the guy we all buy the jersey for, and we have every Foco bobblehead ever made, and this is the guy.
You create a whole line of clothing and a beer about him, all that crazy
exactly
stuff.
Yep.
All right, let's get to John here. He said, look for Mixon to have a big game, and we are out to prove people we don't have a Super Bowl hangover. Trimming off a little, but now we have more reps, and Burrow is focused this week. One thing I'll say is, I kind of said this, I know Joe Mixon's yardage wasn't that great, but I thought Joe Mixon had a really good game, to be honest, as far as his pass receiving and stuff like that. I tweeted this out somebody's or somebody else's thing and said, Joe balled out. So he only averaged 3-point-something yards a carry or whatever. I'm like, yeah, but I'm talking about the whole package, because I personally think Joe's got a shot at getting 2,000 total yards, all multi-purpose yards this year, because he's getting a lot more out of the backfield. They actually split him out wide a couple of times on Sunday.
Yeah, they needed to with T going down. You're already thin at receiver. For as top heavy as the roster is, the top three guys best in the business. There's you're not going to find any debate from us at Cincinnati.
The
Migos. Yep. The 4 through 6, is not up to snuff. And we saw with a couple bad drops from Mike Thomas, one that we thought that won the game, should have been a touchdown. And he tweeted the next day, and he had some angry emojis, probably really upset with himself over that. And so hopefully he'll get back on the right train. But, they obviously, we were a little surprised. They cut Kendrick Pryor in camp, and he didn't make the final roster after the preseason he had and the camp he had, because they needed some of that downfield explosion. They need some playmakers. Stanley Morgan is a special teams guy and is a guy that they can run sweeps with, and he can be a lead blocker for Joe Mixon as a receiver. But he's not a guy that's going to come in, replace T. Higgins and get 5 or 6 catches and 60 to 70 yards. He's just not going to be that guy. I bet they miss Auden Tate. And this is like when Auden Tate would have stepped in last year when there was an injury. So they're very thin on the back end. They're very top heavy. And then on the the back half, they could definitely use some help. And you know, they're going to have to use other guys in those roles, whether it's splitting out Hayden Hurst and who had a really good first game.
Yes, he did.
The guy that was previously in that role that thought the grass was greener somewhere else played like 3 snaps and had no catches and couldn't get on the field. So, but we're happy to have Hayden, and at some point we're going to need to see Chris Evans on the field.
There you go.
We shouldn't be throwing long passes to Samaje Perine downfield when we have Chris Evans on the team. It just shouldn't.
Exactly.
Unless the thought is there, and maybe I'm not able to see this. Maybe the thought is that, well, Samaje Perine, there's no way they're throwing a deep ball to him, and we're going to catch him off guard. Well, they did it twice, and it didn't work either time. If you're going to be calling plays to go downfield to a running back, and it's not 28, then it needs to be Chris Evans, and he needs to find more offensive snaps.
Well, that's the thing too. That was what was so shocking with T going out, because I personally said this a lot on my show this year that I thought Chris Evans would potentially could be the quote unquote 4th wide receiver. I thought they might use him at that, and with T going out, he didn't get any snaps. I mean, I don't think he got any. He got the punt returns or kick returns, and he didn't even get the return. I think they kicked it out, you know, in the end zone every time. So I was personally surprised by that. And when I saw Samaje and them going deep to him, I'm looking at my son going, man, Chris Evans needs to be out there. Like, I don't know why he's not. Because that was – I keep remembering last year, the Detroit game. That was his breakout game. Those are the things that he did, you know. And I'm not asking for him, you know, to be targeted, you know, 6 or 7 times. Hell, targeted 2 or 3 times. Just, you know, get him out there. I would love to see it. And this is one thing I remember always saying this with Gio. When Giovanni Bernard was here, get him in space. Get him on bubble screens. And Chris, I think Chris is a better route runner than Giovanni Bernard was. So there's so many more things I think Chris Evans can do, and he's a bigger body, and he can absorb more hits and do more things than I personally think Gio can. I love Gio, just like against Gio.
Absolutely.
But he's such a weapon. And for T. Higgins going out and Zach not using him, that was kind of a head scratcher. And, you know, everybody, like, that's where I go back to. It was a freaking weird game that they just and we had so many games back when Marvin Lewis was the coach here. Like, oh, we just came out flat. Yeah, we just weren't ready. I don't think that was it. We didn't come out flat. They were ready to go. They just made mistake after mistake after mistake, and it just. I think it's a lot of it. Honestly, is due to not playing in the preseason. But I'm not saying that I want the starters to play the preseason. I'd rather give up one win in week 1 than have, you know, 2 or 3 guys injured because they had to play, you know, 70 snaps in the preseason. That, you know, I would rather do it the way Zach's been doing it.
Yeah, it's tough. The Rams didn't play anybody at all, and then they came out on Thursday night and got, you know, housed. In Rams house. Mm-hmm. So, which sidebar here, the Rams share that house with the Chargers, so it's really stupid for their you know their theme.
Whose house? Rams Chargers house.
Yeah, you know, I think the Chargers are like, well, we pay half the rent, so I don't really.
Exactly.
Hey, roomie.
Hello.
But yeah, I'm of the belief that they have to get some reps in the preseason. I don't think they need to go a whole half. I mean, the old way of thinking was game 1, you play a series. Game 2, you play a quarter. Game 3, you play a half, and then you sit out. Mm-hmm. I don't think they need to do that. But I do think they need to simulate getting ready for a game and going out there and playing a series. If they played a series in each game, I think it would be a lot better as far as knocking some of the rust off and just having an advantage going into week 1.
Yeah, especially the offensive line. That was one that was concerning me, is they really got together the last 3 weeks of camp. That's when Lel was healthy, and Cordell Volson had pretty much established himself as the left guard. Those 3 weeks that's pretty much all they had. And I remember, and I always bow down to Dave Lapham. He knows more about offensive line playing football than I'll ever know. And he thought 3 weeks was enough, you know, to be a cohesive unit. I think 3 weeks and at least a series or 2, at least for the offensive line. I personally don't want to see Joe Burrow in a preseason game ever. I don't think he needs it. I know I know he played terrible Sunday, but the 2 years before that, he never played he's had 3 offensive snaps in his entire career in a preseason. And 2 out of the 3 years opening day, he's been awesome. So I don't think Joe has to play in the preseason. But when you have basically a whole new offensive line, hindsight, and this is all hindsight because I was doing in Zach We Trust. Hindsight, looks like they should have played at least a series or 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just to kind of go back to the opening days for Burrow, he's got to have like some PTSD kind of going forward with kicker performances on opening day. If you think about him bringing the Bengals back his rookie year and Randy Bullock missing a gimme field goal, and then you go back to the LSU opener this year and them going 99 yards, getting an extra point blocked. And then he goes the distance, gets an extra point block that should win the game, and then a missed field goal. It's just some tough opening weeks for the teams that Joe Burrow is affiliated with. So he's probably feeling that one a little bit. He's probably gonna be a little he's gonna like watch it like this, in the future.
But the good thing is that's in the past, and we're moving on to Dallas. It's Wednesday. They're starting to do the play, install, and everything for the Dallas Cowboy game, which is at 4:25. I'm probably gonna go watch it somewhere. I don't know if we're gonna watch it at Break Brewery or we're gonna be at Wild Mike's here, but I will definitely let you guys know. Ryan, you've been on for 47 minutes. I appreciate it. Tell everybody about the Wincinnati podcast and what you guys got coming up this week.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll do our own preview of the Dallas game, and you can find us on YouTube at the Wincinnati channel. Follow us on Twitter at Wincinnati. We've got some guests coming up next week. We're looking to hopefully have a comedian and huge Bengals fan, former SNL writer Luke Null, with us on the show. And the following week for the Whiteout game, Colleen Wolfe, who hosts the pregame for NFL Network, she'll join us to preview the TNF Whiteout Bengals versus Dolphins game.
Awesome. So you guys always get some great guests. So make sure you guys are checking out the Wincinnati podcast. First, watch me and then go watch them. But as always, Ryan, I appreciate you guys. Like I said this every time Ace and Zim have come on here, and the 2 times now you've been on here, and I'll get you on here again. But I appreciate the support you guys have given me and just coming on the show and everything. And it's awesome. Like, we're all Bengals fans. We're all in this together. And, that's what we're supposed to be, man. We're all supposed to be fans and family and have fun. So I appreciate you guys, like I said, for everything you've done for me.
Yeah, absolutely. One family, one team, one community. We should all just prop each other up and look forward to all the content and gear and art and everything that everyone in this community does. And I'm going to get one of those white and black Jackpot Joey.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
Sure.
Like I said, these aren't on the website. So if you guys are interested, you got to DM Matty Myers either on Twitter or Facebook and just tell them you want one, send them your address, and you can Venmo them the money. And but which I don't know if we did go up last Friday and gave a pretty substantial check to the Joe Burrow Hunger Relief Fund. So awesome. Portions of the proceeds for the merchandise goes to that. So anyway, Ryan, appreciate you, man. I'll be checking you guys out. And next time you come in town, I'll try to be down where you're at so I can come see you.
Cool.
Hooday, brother.
Thanks a lot. Hooday.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Ryan's a great dude. Like I said, him and Ace and Zim do a wonderful job on Wincinnati podcast. I enjoy watching them. You can also listen to them on their podcast. It's on the YouTube channel and podcast. Anyway, let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They're Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar, and they can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trenopole. TikTok is at Iceman90. It's kind of cool. The TikTok is starting to blow up. I am getting very close to 1,000 people on TikTok. So, hey, you want to subscribe to me and watch me do silly stuff and talk trash to other fan bases and just have fun. Check me out there. I'll be pulling off the sound later on tonight. Put it on podcasts. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. Give me a 5-star review. Leave a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. YouTubers, God, I am trying to get so hard to get to 2,000. I was going to give away a 6-pack of the Jackpot Joey beer. We hit 2,000 before the season started. We're past it already. I still want to get to 2,000 subscribers. So please, 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 please tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Sports with Strawberry Ice. Like I said, about 1,879 subscribers. 2,000 will be awesome. Because like I said, if it wasn't for you guys watching what I do, paying attention to the social media interaction I do on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, there would be no reason to have a Strawberry Ice show or Jackpot Joey or Jackpot Joey beer or any of this stuff. So again, I always say this, but God's honest truth. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys seriously following, coming up, taking pictures with me or saying hi, or just come up and having a beer, whatever. It's cool. I love it. I do really, really appreciate it. Go out and buy some Jackpot Joey beer. Like I said, it is at Jungle Gyms, Fairfield, and at Eastgate. Like I said, I know from a West Side crew, I think Delhi Liquor has some, or they're getting some this week. Steve's BP has some. If you're looking for it on draft, it is at Wild Mike's on Shady Lane. And of course, it's at Brink Brewery, so you can go get it there. This weekend, I'm trying to talk to Maddie and trying to figure out, we might be doing a game watch party at Wild Mike's or Brink Brewery. I'm not sure which one. So, all right, Jackpot says at Delhi Liquor. So there you go. It's at Delhi Liquor, so you guys can go get some there. So I'm not sure where we're going to do a watch party. Maybe we won't do it at all, but go to Wild Mike's Shady Lane. Go get you, because there's a difference between canned beer and draft beer. I'm a draft beer kind of guy. I like draft beer better. Canned beer, this is good drinking beer no matter where you're at. But the draft beer, to me, tastes the best. So go out to Wild Mike's Shady Lane and check it out and get you a taste of the delicious Jackpot Joey beer. Anyway, tomorrow I have got my boy, Matt, Bengals and Bourbon. He's from the Blind Tiger Show. It'll be the first time he's actually been on my show. So it'll be kind of cool to have him on. We'll be discussing. I like to talk to him about what he did for the Hayden Hurst Foundation, which is really cool. He went to the Bengal Live thing a couple weeks ago. I think I said it right. I probably said it wrong. And got a helmet signed by, I think, almost everybody on the team. And then he auctioned it off to people, to Bengals fans, and raised over $3,000 for the Hayden Hurst fund, which is awesome. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about bourbon. He likes bourbon. We're going to talk about that. I'm not a big bourbon guy, but he's going to educate me some more. We're going to have a lot of fun, so make sure you join us tomorrow. And as always, other than that, say it with me, people. That's just sports, baby. See ya! Let's go. In the night, stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black, and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, day we ignite. Cincinnati, we gon' rise. In the jungle, we unite. Drippin' orange and black and white. Day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Wake up the beast, every day is a feast. Time to bust it off the leash. In the jungle, dripping heat. Tigers strike the city streets. East side, stand up. West side, stand up. If you reppin', who they? Time to put your hands up. Bengal stripes, we in it. New day, new age, yeah, we get it. Cincinnati, jungle fitted. Who they in our house, we win it. Orange and black and white, we build it. Earn our stripes, you know we kill it. Bleed our colors, jungle dripping. Nasty, natty, yeah, we lit it. Lit the crowd, get the city loud. Yeah, we feasting now. Fit the bounce, make the city howl. Now we beastin' now. Thunder through the tunnel, from the sideline to the huddle. Stripes we tatted on the jungle when we flex that who they muscle on them. Cincinnati, we gon' rise in the jungle, we unite in the drippin' orange and black and white.